What's going on, everybody? Jim Beaver here with a quick tip of the day, and I thought I would today show you guys something that's been around forever, but maybe you haven't fooled around with it before, and if you haven't, you should try it. What I'm talking about, the old slide. They come in many different forms and flavors. You can get them in metal and ceramic and glass, and here later I'll show you how you can even use some things from around the house to kind of create the same effect. But anyway, just a little quick explanation of why and how this works, and then a couple of ideas how to use it, and then you're off to the races to have a lot of fun and reinvent some ways that you approach the instrument. And you know, it's something cool to try, especially when we're all cooped up at home, right? So the way that the guitar works, you've got 6 strings, or really any string instrument. You've got the strings, and they're tuned, they're stretched and tightened to a state where when they are allowed to vibrate, they will create a pitch. So with the guitar, the frets that you see, that you know, if you've got a guitar in your hand, you know what frets are. If you've played a guitar, you understand what this is. The frets essentially shorten the string. So when I press down the first fret, this string is now only allowed to vibrate at that length from that fret to the bridge. So what that means is that the length is shorter, so the pitch is going to get higher. And the shorter I allow that string to get, the higher the pitch is going to be. And that's how we play anything on the guitar. If we're playing a scale, you're fretting each string, and it's creating a certain length, allowing that string to vibrate at that length, and that changes the pitch. And that's how the whole thing works. Well, how does the slide fit into that? Well, a slide essentially becomes the fret. So you're not actually going to press down on the strings like you would when you were just playing the guitar. The slide itself becomes the fret, and it becomes a movable fret. So what you can do, you're going to touch the slide on the strings with enough pressure that the string will vibrate from that point, but not enough pressure to actually make the string make contact with the fret below. So you see what I'm doing there? I'm just making contact. Here are the fretted notes. Notice the different timbre when you use the slide. And you can mess around and do some dressy things with it. You can wiggle it back and forth and create some vibrato. You can be subtle with it, or you can be dramatic with it. So what if you don't have one of these at home? What if you don't have a slide that was, you know, manufactured and sold to we guitar people to use in this application? Well, all is not lost. You can use anything that is round and has a very solid mass to it. Glass works the best, I think. You can use pieces of pipe, shot glasses. Here I have, it's actually an antique juice glass. But it's got a nice round, flat and round finish to it, so I can use this to some degree. So mess around with that and try different things around your house. But you know, pro tip: don't drop it and break it. You'll get in trouble. So now that we've figured out how and why it works, what are we going to do with this information? How can we make music with it? Well, let's take something that many of us already know, like the pentatonic scale. And one of the forms that's most common is to use this E or E minor / G major formation. And I'm going to do it here in the key of E major. So I'm going to be up here on the 9th fret. And you guys know what this one looks like. If we were going to play the minor form here in C sharp, it would look like this. That's a whole ball of wax. There's 5 other forms, but this particular form works the best, in my opinion, or one of the best for slide if you're going to be in a standard tuning, because it's symmetrical and it allows lots of points where more than one note can be fretted at a time from the scale. There's a note from the scale on each string on this fret and 3 strings on this fret. So you see you've got a lot of combinations where you can play more than one note from this straight across position that the slide forces you to be. So I can play these 2 notes together. I can play these 2 notes together. I can play these 3 notes together. You get the idea. So from this scale that maybe some of you have fooled around with improvising from, well, you can try messing around and doing some of these same licks and from this same formation using a slide. So here I am, instead of playing, I'm going to slide up to those notes now. So here I could go. Now I can play it with a slide. You get the idea. Now, one item of note, when you're playing the slide, it's probably a good idea to drag a couple of fingers behind the slide. It cuts down some of that excess noise from neighboring frets and strings. So here it is without the dragging of the fingers. Here, it was kind of buzzy sounding. Now here I'm going to just drag my other 2 fingers behind the slide, and it minimizes that. Not completely gone because, you know, it is a slide. Here's another lick you can play from that same formation. Slide up to the 2nd string, 12th fret, and then while you're there, while it's still ringing, play the 1st string. You can add on to that. And then, so if I was to just fret those notes, it would look like this. No big deal, right? But you slide in and out of some of those notes, and all of a sudden you sound like a blues guy. So the possibilities are endless with this. So have some fun, try it on your own, and again, don't drop and break whatever you're borrowing from the kitchen if you don't have a slide. We'll see you guys soon.